Spinderella cut it up one time. Ooh. Okay. Oops.
Welcome to your happy hour podcast, ladies and gents. Today's topic is sex sells. So, we know it does, but how do we feel about it? Ladies?
Sex sells.
It's a very efficient model.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, first of all, I'm so glad that people are putting so much power into women. Apparently, we influence a lot in some way.
But is it putting power into our hands?
I'm being sarcastic.
Okay.
But obviously, there is some type of power in it because
it sells.
It sells.
And no matter what, from toothpaste to a car to organ donors, everyone's using sex to promote this stuff.
That is true.
And it hooks people, you know? And it's kind of
Sex is addictive, apparently.
Yeah, but I don't know, like, we are sex crazed. You know, like we're bombarded with sex images all day long. But are we a really sexually liberated society?
Absolutely not. Not here. Not here in North America.
I don't think so, yeah.
No, we're not. Although we portray that, that is not true. Absolutely not. I'm just saying this out of personal experience because I lived in Europe as well. And I find...
Can you specify where in Europe?
I lived in Portugal and I lived in France.
Okay.
I lived in, I don't know if people would know, Cascais in Portugal. And then I lived in Paris, France. And I was actually very surprised coming from North America how sexually liberated they are in Europe on all levels. You know, you put on the television at 4 o'clock in the afternoon in France and other countries in Europe and you'll see what we consider soft porn. They don't call that soft porn. It's just normal.
Like in the middle of the afternoon?
In the middle of the afternoon. I've also walked down the street at night and seen people having sex.
Where?
At the corner of my street. And I lived in a very good area.
In the street?
What street was it? What corner?
Girl,
Relax.
it's a very good area.
Relax.
No, very good area. And nothing happened. People were in the clubs wearing sheer tops. You could see nipples, breasts. You go to the beach. There's nudist
beaches.
Not even nudist beaches. In France, you could be topless at the beach. But, you know, I would expect people to act a certain way, and they don't because it became so natural. So I just don't find there's the same feeling as there is in North America, where it's like anything you put on the TV and it's like coming at you as aggressively. But then, and then you go, let's say, to a club, and it's a meat market.
Yeah.
You know, people are sex crazed, but then it's like there's all these laws against, like, indecent exposure, you know, and people are prudes also.
Yeah.
You know, with nudity.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's because we make sex such a taboo. So as soon as it's a taboo, as soon as you make something a taboo, that's when everybody really wants to do it.
Yeah.
But they feel like they have to hide to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it actually pulls in a lot of attention to, the cars. Vroom, vroom, we getting ready, motorcycles.
It's hot up in here, people, so we got the doors open and the windows open.
Yo, yeah, this is Canada. Anytime the sun comes out, we lose our minds. Like, sunshine, windows.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
Because the way I was raised, I was never raised for it to be nudity to be a taboo.
Okay.
So in my family, I've seen my parents naked walking around.
No, I'm kidding.
walking around, and they never made it a taboo.
Yeah.
But I've talked to a lot of people where it's like, oh my God, you've seen your parents like that? Oh my God, that's weird. How were you guys raised?
I don't know. I thought there was something cool about, like, what you're saying. Like, I have friends that they see their parents naked, and when I realized it wasn't a problem, I was like, oh, so it's not a problem. I guess I just wasn't brought up that way. Like, it wasn't a thing where we just walked around naked. But I'm sure I'd be probably more comfortable with my body if it wasn't a problem at home. You know what I mean? Right. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad I didn't see my dad naked all the time.
But you know what? I would probably say the same thing if I had it. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly.
But I didn't think it was abnormal
Yeah.
because I was raised around. When I was at a certain age, I wouldn't walk around like that.
Yeah.
I didn't feel comfortable, but I didn't find it weird seeing my parents like that.
Mhm.
And I found that when I was in Europe, I didn't find weird seeing people, you know, topless or wearing a sheer top at a club. Or I just didn't have the same, I don't know. And I think that might be a factor.
Yeah, I'm sure it plays into it, but there's also, I mean, if you see a girl topless, like, oh my god, boobs! And you're like, okay,
Who cares?
great,
Well,
boobs.
it's like that lady who walked around here last year, Lily Boisvert.
Mhm.
She actually wrote the article and she explained. She said that what she thought was going to be the problem was people would say that she would be putting herself in danger because she was citing another situation of a girl in New York who decided to go topless in a pool, and they said it's for her own good. That if you're topless, you might incite violence towards you. If you show yourself naked, then you're putting yourself at risk of being hurt.
I would be scared actually for the reaction that I get just to show legs
Yeah.
Right.
and some cleavage. I think I would be scared to walk around Montreal topless.
I would definitely
I'd be scared.
uncomfortable to do it.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, like when I went to Mexico and we were at the beach and you know we had a private pool because we were balling like that. I was in the pool.
next time.
You know what I'm saying? So I was in the pool topless and it felt
Amazing.
amazing.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh my
seriously,
God.
you feel so free, but at the same time, there was nothing uncomfortable because we had a private pool and it was my boyfriend and I, you know?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, it was
Right.
just the two of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's just to say that I think that if it was an open thing, like
Yeah.
I wouldn't walk around the streets of Montreal topless if I was the only one doing it.
Yeah.
But if it was like a normal thing, if once in a while, because it's hot, you know, you take off your shirt and
Yeah.
your bra and you walk around topless and no one cares,
yeah.
yeah.
But you know what?
I would do it.
I've
Yeah.
worn tops. I've gone out of my house not wearing a bra.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'd rather not do that anymore because the minute nipples show,
Oh.
because my nipples are sensitive, a little breeze, that's it, or a little thought, and my nipples are getting
You know?
hard. And the minute you could see them through the shirt, like the tension you're getting is just not good.
And they're
It's
just
not.
nipples, though.
They're just
But
nipples.
there's something about nipples.
It's true.
Okay, so like there's asses
Right.
everywhere.
Yeah.
In magazines, in videos, everywhere.
On the
there's
street.
there's boobs,
Right.
but there's just like the you know the skin part, like the you know
The top,
like the
yeah.
top part, you know. But as soon as you go close to the darker area or like the
If
if there's like
Oreo.
even a shadow in
yeah,
a photograph.
forget it. Like we all remember the Super Bowl nipplegate
Lord.
incident.
Yeah.
With Janet Jackson.
But incident, really, it was planned as hell.
Girl.
Like, it was a choreography.
Thank you.
It's like 50-50. So I
Yes.
think it was fine. She had a giant
Star.
star.
Oh, she's that much of a freak. She's wearing a star underneath. Wait, hold on. Wait.
At the Super Bowl,
First of all,
please.
did you?
Everything's flat at the
I'm
Super Bowl.
sure we're all gonna watch the video again. But at one point
Yeah.
during the video, they're dancing, and then the man puts his hand across and he grabs her top and he rips
Rips it off.
Like, what was he doing? Was he dusting some dust off? Was that a dance move?
Apparently, wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, right.
Really?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
But what
In
I-
quotes.
But do you know what I find
Yeah.
interesting about that whole incident?
What?
Mm.
It's ironic that happened in halftime on Super Bowl.
Mm.
And the Super Bowl commercials
Yeah.
are super
Sexual.
sexualized.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
can you
On
have
another
sex
level.
eating? Okay, I'm sure people can have sex eating hamburgers. I can see it already in my head. But
I
how did
don't.
you make? Yeah,
A
because
banana, maybe, which you made me do before. Yes.
with some really freaky deaky people, you take that, like, what is it, the Big Mac? And you go,
No, I'm
baby,
sorry.
I put some mayo and some
no.
crispy onions.
Enough, no, sorry. Okay, that sounds some other freaky.
Strawberries, perhaps.
No, maybe that's on a
Fruits.
freaky because I think eating a hamburger there's nothing sexy about that.
There isn't.
Really?
I understand
Think
eating
about
a
it.
banana.
Think about
Listen.
it. Well, no, but think about it. A burger.
No.
You have this big thing in your hands, and then you have to open
Yeah.
wide. So the guy's
So?
thinking that circumference.
And
so
it's meat.
He can see your gullet, and so it's
Okay, a hot dog,
He knows
maybe.
how far.
A hot dog? But a hamburger?
If
What-
people make anything
I don't know.
sexual.
Anything.
Exactly.
Anything can be sexual. But that's the thing. And like, just to what point are we always, like, women are always subjected to being sexual objects? For instance, I'm gonna like straight up going back with the nipple thing.
Mhm.
You know, women that breastfeed.
Yeah.
It's not sexual at all.
No.
It has nothing to do with sex. She's feeding her baby.
Yeah.
You know? And because
Actually, I think it's beautiful.
It is.
but
Yeah.
because there's a nipple involved,
Right.
Yeah,
But-
it becomes indecent exposure here in
But
America.
but you know what? You see girls out wearing those like poom poom shorts.
Yeah,
where
nobody
her
says shit
butts
about that.
are hanging.
You can see the camel toe.
Yeah.
You know?
You see all the folds.
You know?
Ooh.
Oh god.
Oh,
That's the truth, though.
it's the truth.
Like for instance,
You're
Kim
right.
Kim K. Kim
Yeah.
K on the cover of Paper. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her butt. Like
Yeah.
she is butt naked.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's fine.
Well, what was she selling?
She
Selling
she,
herself.
She sold herself.
She sold
I didn't even get
I
that.
said it. She sold herself.
No, but you know what I mean? Think about the cover. If she had been showing some nipples,
Yeah.
it would have been a Playboy.
Wait,
Yeah, it's true.
Did they
It's
show
true.
nipples in any of the show? They
No.
did show nipples in some of the pictures.
No, they did not.
I gotta check it because I remember seeing nipples.
No,
and stuff.
they-
Nipples are like,
They showed
Taboo,
No.
which is the weirdest thing.
they showed nipples like in the magazine,
Inside
Yeah.
the
No,
magazine.
but
we're
not
talking about
on
the
the
cover.
cover.
We're talking about the cover.
If you're in the cover,
Yeah.
if there's some nipples on the cover,
Oh, no,
It's
no, no,
Playboy.
it's a Playboy.
Yeah.
No, but I
It's a-
actually really want to know what is it about nipples that really freaks everybody out? Because
Please write us in and tell us. Could you please write to us and tell us
what's up with the nipple?
nipples?
yeah,
Why is it such a big thing?
because I mean, I spent my teenage years in France, and I remember watching commercials after school for soap, body wash,
yeah.
and you would see nipples in the ad.
Oh.
It wasn't a thing. I didn't
Okay.
understand
When was this?
when I was like 14 years old.
Yeah, back in the day, this is what's interesting because I think we were coming. It was an era coming out of the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
The 70s era. There's still that feeling where it's like there's freedom.
Mm.
You understand? And things have changed. We've gone backwards, really. We've
Yeah,
really
so are
have gone
nipples banned
backwards.
in Europe? Do you think they
No, they're not.
They're still
I know
not.
this for a fact.
But the thing
Yeah.
is, it's
No,
like
but that was there, wasn't here.
we're going forward with the marketing and the ads
Mhm.
and how we portray women and sexuality in general.
Yeah.
We're cheapening it, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Cheapen it. And then in our regular lives, I find that we are becoming more of prudes because we're not
Yeah,
really embracing
definitely.
the body as it is, you know?
Yeah.
Because if you spend your time seeing like, you know, just a torso, like you're not no, but you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
ads and everywhere it's just like a torso, legs, butt.
Yeah.
It's not a whole person.
Yeah.
It doesn't engage you as this is a human being.
No.
It's like it's a torso.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So there's that idea too, you know? So
And let me ask you guys something.
Mm.
Because, I mean, it's so crazy. They're using sex, like, everywhere in commercials.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Even if it's, like, not people. They're making 2 ice cream bars, like,
Have sex.
have sex. You know, there's a commercial for Orbit gum where the guy is, like, talking to a slice of pizza, and she's a Latina slice of pizza, and the pepperonis are her breasts. Okay?
And I'm not gonna lie, she's hot.
She's
I don't know how they
not.
did it.
Slice of pizza. But anyways, my point
Oh my
is, do you think if they were trying to sell any of these products, okay, from beer, okay, to deodorant for men, or a car, do you think these products would sell if they didn't use sex?
Well, we don't know because there isn't very much effort put, I think, into making it happen. Like, there isn't an effort. So
But in
we
your
can't know.
opinion, do you think it would, with how you see society right now, do you think people would be as that prone to go buy the product if they didn't see, they weren't attracted by this commercial that's completely sexualized?
I think at first it would be like, what is this? And we'd feel weird about it.
Mhm.
Because I mean
We're so used to
we're
it.
so used to it, you know?
Right.
But I feel like it's a wave too, you know? If one big company that has influence like starts using other kind of like marketing, strategies,
Mhm.
and the others follow,
Then it will become the norm.
then it will become the norm. Because right now the norm is just everything sex.
Well,
Can-
it makes it
Everything and
easy.
anything sex.
Can I
Yeah.
just bring in this example that I really want to bring up today,
Sure.
which is it's an organ donor foundation, and on the image they have this girl in a bikini, sitting on a couch with sexy heels in a very provocative position, and you're like, oh, what are they advertising? I'm not
Looks
sure.
like something I'd put on my wall. Actually.
Right? Like, it's very naughty. It looks very naughty. It's like,
Naughty.
oh, okay. If you just look at the image, you think
Yeah, it
maybe
looks
they're...
like a Victoria's Secret ad.
Yeah, exactly. And then you realize that it's for an organ donor foundation, and their tagline is, becoming a donor is probably your only chance to get inside her.
Wow.
It's too far. For me, it's too
Too
much.
far,
It's
man.
Too far.
Okay. I see you guys' point, but look, we're talking about it, right?
Right.
Right? My next question to you, and we shouldn't say the name, but my next question would be, what is this? What's this foundation?
Yeah.
Do you know what? We would not be talking about it right now
Hmm.
at all
Mm-hmm.
if that wasn't so provocative.
Yeah.
I know, but
And let's be realistic. Donating organs, not really a topic that people really talk about too often. And their ads have been very conservative.
Mm-hmm.
And people, it's becoming, with all the illnesses that we have in this world right now,
Mhm.
this is becoming more and more important. So they're trying to find a way to attract people and get their awareness.
Right.
So it's almost a desperation to get people's attention. And it's unfortunate, but it will get people's attention.
I
But
get
we're
it.
talking about it in the podcast.
I get it, and I agree.
would
The
personally
thing is-
never donate.
I
to
personally,
them.
I don't have any moral problem.
You wouldn't
with
donate
it.
to them because
But-
of their ad, but how about the people that need the organs?
Yeah, but
That's the
to
point.
me, creatively, I find it lazy.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I think that that's the thing about sex selling. Sex is amazing. So I don't.
We come
I
from
don't. I
sex.
have
We
no
are
problem
freaking
with
sex.
using sex. But the problem is that we're using sex in an environment that says that people shouldn't have sex at the same time. So it's this strange double
The paradox,
like
yeah.
it's a huge paradox. Yeah, we don't know what we're doing. It's like a state of confusion. Personally, I think that if they had really wanted to be creative, they could have. It's
Mhm.
the same thing with using big girls in ads. They're doing it now. And they're finding ways to do it, and it's actually starting to work slowly. They didn't want to do it before because they had a model. It's more efficient. They don't want to lose money over time.
Mhm.
So they're using women's bodies to be efficient. But at the same time, you're telling women that we are not supposed to be this. We're not supposed to show our bodies. We're not supposed to be sexual. But then you're making us sexual at the same time.
Okay, but on another standpoint,
Yeah.
okay, like for instance, I'm in marketing
Mhm.
myself. That's my field of work, one of my fields of work.
Yeah.
We find it very difficult in the field to now market because we're in a society
Yeah.
where there's so many things that are getting people's attentions
Right.
that it's very difficult to get someone's attention now.
Right.
Okay? So at the end of the day, it's the point. The point is we want people to donate organs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's the end result. This is what we want.
Mhm.
Okay?
Right.
So whatever, at the end of the day, that's super important.
Yeah, but the ends are justifying the means then.
I understand what you're saying, but what are you going to do in a society,
Mm-hmm.
right, where you're not getting people's attention?
Right.
Because first of all, the attention span is so small now
Right.
because there's so many things going on.
Right.
And there's such things as guerrilla marketing. There's very outrageous ways to use marketing in this era that we're in. So something that's so important that you have to convey to this society, how are you going to get people's attention, okay, with not using something that will be controversial, that'll make people go, oh my God, that's messed up. We're talking about it in a podcast.
Right.
A lot of people are going to hear this,
Mm-hmm.
okay, but it actually stays in your head. Before today, what was last time you thought about organ donating?
I actually signed my card.
I've signed my card.
Well, you know what? I'm guilty because I've not thought about that in I don't know how long.
Personally, I don't look. Use the woman, don't use the woman. It is what it is. It's status quo. But the fact still
I'm not
remains
against. I'm
that
not against it.
they're going ahead and using this particular paradigm because it works. But at the same time, we have this other thing that says we can't. Like sex is not appropriate.
Believe it or not, I find it worse to be using for beer than I find using it for organ donation. Why? Because at least this is a cause, and if it actually gets people to donate organs, you're saving lives. Okay, using that for beer, what? You're gonna just get people drunk? What's the good in that?
Make money.
Exactly.
Money.
But no one. More people are more outraged about this what we're just talking about than the beer commercials or other things that are completely, if you want to see it like that, degrading women.
Oh no, girl! I was a beer
I
girl for the longest time.
I like your point of view, Sybil, but I just think that I also agree with Lady Andy in the sense that it's lazy. In the sense that
I hear you.
People the way I see it, it's a bunch of people sitting around a table, and correct me if I'm wrong, because this is how I believe marketing session goes.
It absolutely works. Like that.
It's like a bunch of people sitting around the table, and it's like, it's people that are creative, that have ideas, and I think that to come up with something like this where everyone's like, yeah, great, let's do that. It's like, come on, guys, And I get it, you need to shop, but personally, the sexting, there's just so much of it that is like, what's the shop?
But you know what? In marketing, but
also
in marketing, it's the punchline. Okay.
Okay.
And the punchline in here is that's the only way you're going to get inside of her.
Yeah, let's talk about that punchline.
But wait a minute. But wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like back in the day. I don't know if people remember this. Some of y'all won't because you're too young. But
I'd be one of those people.
But for instance, Benetton.
Benetton. Yeah.
It was very controversial back in the day. They even had ads that were banned in America, not banned in Europe, where they were using nuns. They were using a lot of things to promote their product.
Okay.
And they were trying to show diversity, United Colors of Benetton. So they were trying to, not only did they use different races, but they also used different people in society. And there was a lot of controversy. But at the end of the day, it was the message, it was the punchline. United Colors of Benetton.
Okay.
So United Colors. So they used something very controversial, but it always goes back to the punchline. That's what it is in marketing. And it's very difficult nowadays because, like I said, it's saturated. How are you going to get someone's attention that has the attention span of 2 minutes?
So the power of the PUSSY, essentially. So let's just call it what it is.
Well, I'm sorry. Pussy does have power.
Yeah, but listen, I'm not sorry. But
I'm not either.
Just, is it because it's harder to get the attention that it just justifies to become lazy and just kind of like...
Because how do you evolve? Like, again, the punchline. It said, let's just really think about the punchline. The only way you're going to get inside of her. So, essentially, this is a woman in an ad. Right. And the only thing that you could think about when you look at this woman is how you're going to get inside of her.
Right.
That's
Which is
it.
True.
That's
all.
She's
half naked.
Yeah,
so,
but
it's
realistic. Is that all that women? But that's why it is realistic to an extent. We got to get to a point where we're like, wait a minute.
You mean to tell me you're going to see a naked man?
Right.
And you're not going to think any sexual thoughts?
I don't have to think a sexual thought when I see a naked man. Sometimes I'm thinking sweaty balls. I don't really want to.
Wait, a man looking good?
Okay,
lies.
Okay, but that's
another thing, right?
That's a good question. Do you automatically think about sex when you see a naked man picture? Really, honestly.
If the man's looking good, yes.
I feel like it's an expectation because all the time, not really. Sometimes, yes,
me
but not
personally,
all the time.
this is really
if the man's looking good, yeah.
It's evolving well in the sense that so do you think if these ads, because something like that, the woman that's naked, the only way you're gonna get inside of her, obviously they're not catering to women right now. You know?
No.
Yeah.
Well, they're not catering to women.
So they did probably a case study that the men were donating less. It's a possibility.
Maybe
it's totally possible. If this was a man, that was in this position, the same thing, but it's a man, in the sexually suggestive position, and he's half naked, with boxers or briefs, whatever you're into, would that appeal to you as a woman? Would that appeal to you?
Probably not. And I'm trying to think first of all, how would they even switch the tagline, the punchline to a dude.
They
I'm
can't.
trying to. They
The
can't
only way
because
you can hop on this.
well, though you
No,
can't.
because they're talking about the organs are inside.
Yeah.
Right.
You can, that wouldn't work.
Well, I mean, dudes,
The only
you
way,
can be
no,
inside a dude.
actually, this is
if
the only
you're a
way
dude.
you can
Don't
get
give
his
them ideas
heart.
for
The best way to a man's belly or some, I don't know, to his heart is through his belly.
Okay,
I
but
don't
listen,
know,
forget
girl.
Yeah, let's forget the
tagline,
punchline,
Okay?
yeah.
Let's forget the tagline. Okay,
Yeah.
let's just think about. We can take any ad in the world.
Yes.
Okay, and just switch it up and just put a man
Yeah.
in the same
They
suggestive.
have.
Yeah, they have.
BuzzFeed,
but
God bless their souls.
they have, but it was like kind
But
of
it's
like
funny.
You
parody.
know what?
Yeah.
No, that's not true. They do it for, look, studies. For men's colognes. Actually, women buy more men cologne to give to a man than men do.
Right.
A lot of those ads, it's men half naked. Nice chest, abs, whatever. It works. I'm sorry, it does. It works.
It's true. It's
so
true.
It's not true. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to call anybody out in here. But,
she's talking about me.
Yeah.
Not
About
only,
me, and
not
I'm
only,
accepting
What are you gonna say?
look, I'm getting shade already. She
Girl,
don't even know
I'm
what I'm gonna say. I'm talking about her. Anyways, if you're gonna see an image of a man
Yeah.
with a nice torso, you're salivating. You're gonna tell me you don't think anything sexual.
It
when you
really
see that?
depends on the mood I'm in. Some days I'm really like not phased, but on the
Really?
days when when it's not, yeah.
I've known you for a long time. I don't know.
Okay, but
I've never seen
but
it.
would it work for you to sell you something?
You know what?
I don't
Maybe
know.
I don't know. It's kind of I don't know. It's hard. I'd have to see it. Exactly. But I do. If I can say one thing, as a woman, it's true. Women in general are beautiful. We're
Yeah.
beautiful, you know, and the curves, the titties, the butts, everything, the hair. It doesn't matter. We're just creatures of beauty, and men too. But women are beautiful, and I understand why we were picked as the object of desire and used in commercials and stuff. I'm not necessarily agreeing with it, but I get it because it's true. I'll be walking down the street and I think I check women out more than I check men out. And not because I'm gay or because women are just beautiful. That's it.
I
But
can't
I
say
think
I
there's
check out
I think
more
there's
women.
also the fact that you're a woman yourself.
Yeah.
And we discussed this before in the sense that women have an easier time to tell other women to see other women's beauty,
Yeah.
or you
or
see,
admit it.
yeah, or you see another woman's, she has nice shoes, nice hair, whatever, and it pushes you to
You
get to
compare
that
yourself,
point. You
yeah.
compare yourself.
Yeah.
There's the comparison game too.
Yeah, and I guess what I was trying to say, I'm not saying that I don't check out dudes. I don't necessarily check out women more than I check out dudes, but there's also that element of guys, I'm a little more shy. Like women are just beautiful, like I said, so I'm more comfortable looking at them for some reason. I guess because we're more exposed to it. I don't know what it is.
Or maybe
But
because
the
they're not
dude-
going to come to you and hit on you.
Exactly.
If you
There's
look at
an
them straight
element
in the
of
eye.
that. Yeah.
I think that's individual because
For
I have
sure.
no problem checking out men.
For sure.
If a man look good, he looks good. I'm checking it out, and I definitely check out more men than I check out women.
I would
So,
actually really
I
like
don't
to-
know. I
Yeah.
think it really depends on the person.
It does, for sure. I'm
But-
just saying from my
But
my
also, that's marketing, guys. That's marketing because women, by nature, are competitive with other women.
Right.
It's unfortunate. Hopefully, we're starting something where that's going to change.
Mhm.
But it's the truth. Many studies have been made, and even out of personal experience, I see it every single day, where women go and women are just catty and they're competitive with one another. So when they do commercials to cater to women, they're going to use other women because women aspire to be like that woman,
Mhm.
that woman. Whereas for men, it's about getting the girl. So men are not the same way.
I get it, but
We're not the same way even biologically.
Well, no,
We're
it's not
the
just
same
even
by
getting
nature.
the girl, it's getting the trophy.
yeah, because the woman is a trophy. Like, for instance, when
Yes.
we link hot women and luxury cars,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
Like, I mean, I don't think I can recall an ad with a luxury car that did not involve a hot woman
Mhm.
at some point.
There are a few, but in
There
general,
are-
they
No,
use
but
a
like
lot
the
of luxury
big
car-
majority.
No, luxury cars. They show a lot of men driving them.
Oh, nobody. I never said women driving the car.
Yeah.
The woman is on the side.
But
She's
that-
on the street.
Actually, I think it's cheaper cars that use that. But I would like to actually know, because you're right, cars and women are linked. What is it about cars and women? Why? I mean, men even name their cars.
Yeah.
You know, like no, really though.
They
Like,
do.
what is? Please, men out there, write us. Tell us what is it?
Well, the guy's riding a car. It's riding. You're riding.
Do you guys find cars sexy? I don't understand it.
But I think that the car is the symbol of their greatness,
Their manhood?
their manhood, you know.
Their
But what is
movement,
it? Is
their
it
action.
the control? Is it the power of the car? Because sports cars, especially sports cars, are very much, you know, it's that's usually when there's a comparison with women.
Yeah.
You know, the sports cars and the women. Hot cars usually are sports cars and hot women.
Yeah.
What's the link? Let us know, please.
There was a really cool ad I saw on TV. Not TV because I don't watch it online. And that's true. I haven't had cable since. But anyway, and it was like a car was driving. It was the sexy music, and then the car is parking into the garage, and the lights. He gets into the driveway, and all the lights light up, and then the garage door opens, and he drives in slowly, and there's all like this Barry White going. Hey.
Oh, I know.
Baby.
Yeah.
So it's like he's doing it.
I actually really like that, and I think that that's
It's-
a great example of sex selling.
It's a metaphor for penetration.
Yeah, I have no problem. Personally, I don't have a problem using sex to sell because it is it's something. It's titillating. It's fun.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to. Well, most people, a lot of people want to do it because
Yeah.
that's how we keep alive.
Yeah.
And going, you know.
Yeah.
So it's great, but for me, it's kind of like one-sided.
Yeah.
So all the power lies on the women to lure you in,
Yeah.
and they're doing it. It's just strange to me. It's strange because I feel that I don't want to be approached every single time that you see me as a sexual subject or
Yeah.
object.
Yeah.
Like I want to have a conversation with you and not have it to be about sex.
I actually never want to be approached by anybody as a sexual object.
Yeah.
But, you know, here's the thing. So, hot women, cars, dudes. But us.
Yeah.
Like, would you date a guy that doesn't have a car? And does it matter to you if he has a nice car?
Man, this is Montreal, girl. The bus metro system is amazing. What's the problem?
No, you know what?
Save
Yeah.
your money, take me somewhere really good to eat. We don't want to look for parking in winter.
Okay, so hold on.
It's a taxi.
So you mean to tell me that if this guy has a nice, I don't know, Audi,
Yeah.
a nice black Audi that he can pick you up in, you know, it's been washed, it's clean, it's shiny,
Right.
you know, picks you up, opens the door, and it's his car.
Right.
It's not gonna make a difference. It does nothing.
It's pretty nice because then I know I can wear my heels. no
It's a
problem.
bonus, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I
wouldn't date a guy based on his car.
yeah.
Not based
Or
on his
based
car.
on him having a car. That honestly for me it makes the list very, very short right now. I don't know, maybe my options have been quite limited right now. But I have not based getting involved with a guy based on the
No,
fact that
me
whether
neither.
he has a car or not.
I think it
You know
depends
what,
on
though?
where you live too.
Yes,
It does.
But I'm gonna say something.
Yeah.
Okay, so before
Uh-huh.
I had a boyfriend with a car,
Yeah.
I didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had a boyfriend with a car, and that was the end of that. It's like, you ain't got no ride. Don't call me boo boo.
Well, I actually dated guys that had luxury cars, and I've dated guys after that didn't have cars or didn't have luxury cars, and it really made no difference for me.
No difference?
Hold on. Because if I'm in Houston
Yes.
and you don't have a vehicle,
Vehicle.
you don't have a car, it's a problem because I'm not taking the metro bus, whatever it is there. They don't even have sidewalks. Like
No,
there's a
and
problem.
a lot of places in the United States at least have a vehicle.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, I don't care what vehicle.
Oh, you don't care what vehicle.
Hold on.
but
I remember
a vehicle.
car.
But it depends where, because like here, I really don't care.
Yeah.
I would rather you not have a car. I'm sorry, you were saying.
Well, what if the dude takes limos?
Okay,
limos
you know,
are good.
I'm playing.
Chris Rock said something really interesting. He said, men cannot go backwards sexually. Women cannot go backwards in lifestyle.
Whoa.
So I have
That's
to
true.
agree in the sense that, like, you know, I got introduced to the I have a car, honey, and I can go back. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
For a dude, what does that mean? I didn't get that.
in the sense that, like, cannot go backwards sexually. So, you know, his last girlfriend used to, like, suck his dick, like, you know,
Every day.
on her head, you know,
Yeah.
on, like, splits or whatever. And he's just like, so...
Can you do the splits?
on your head with my dick in your mouth.
Oh, I think that's crap.
Oh.
Considering, okay, nah, I'm not gonna say that because that's wrong.
What?
I really have gone back and forth in lifestyles. Like I've dated guys that were very wealthy,
Mm-hmm.
and I've dated guys that weren't wealthy after.
But you felt the pinch, though. You felt a little
No, I
itch?
didn't.
No?
I really
Okay.
There was no pinch?
God bless.
We're
your
so
heart.
funny. We're like, there was a pinch, right?
The whole time
For
with my head, I'm
For
hearing,
me,
moving
honest,
on up.
no. For me, it's like no. I'll be honest. Yes, please. I'm not saying I go for bums because I don't.
No. I don't want no scrubs.
No,
Bums
no
beware.
bums. No. You got to have your shit together.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay, and to me, it's more because you know what? I've seen guys that don't have their shit together, and that reflects in other areas, and they feel
Yeah.
shit about them. Like no.
It's true.
But as far as like what you could do for me,
Mm-hmm.
no, it really hasn't affected because you know what? A lot of those guys that were wealthy, I'm just gonna say it, okay? Some of them were athletes, so they were assholes.
Cheetahs.
On another level,
Just
girl.
that
Okay.
asterisk. Not all
No,
athletes are
no,
cheaters
no,
or
I'm not
Oh my
saying
god.
that.
It's always
However.
not all men, though.
Okay,
However.
of course.
You know who you are.
Although, I'm just
Right,
gonna
right,
say
right,
it.
right.
I'm just gonna say it. Okay, that's just me, Sybil. I would never date a football player again.
Mhm.
I've had my dose, and you know what? They've been all the same. So, anyways,
Okay.
they had a lot of money. They had 4 cars,
At
luxury cars. The plane tickets were sent to me. I've gotten jewelry from them. I've done all.
That sounds
done
real
all
nice.
of that. But do you know what? It wasn't really nice.
No.
And the arrogance
Oh.
and pompous, and it's just not even the stuff I
Nah.
like in men.
Can't
Mhm.
deal.
So I would rather a guy that, you know, he has his shit together, he's not rich, has an average car, you know, and treats me right and
Yeah.
has the qualities that I'm looking for in a man.
Yeah.
That's different for everyone.
Yeah.
In my list, that's not a priority.
What's not a priority? Money?
How much you make, if
Okay.
you have a luxury
true.
car, or like that isn't. Hey, if you're successful, okay, great,
Mhm.
that's fine.
Mhm.
But am I just looking for that? It'll make a difference because I've dated guys that were successful and rich and whatever, and then I dated guys that weren't.
Mm-hmm.
No, I have nothing against women that you know that's on your priority list. That's cool.
For sure. Everyone to each their own. I just find definitely that there is like that threshold because it goes on the other side where it's like, dude, so broke that like.
You're
No, but
like
that's
a
what I.
pizza.
but
And I know that's what
I
you're saying.
said.
I know
Not
that's
a
what you're
bum,
saying.
Not a guy that doesn't have it.
For
You have to have
sure.
your shit together.
But the thing is, he can have his shit together in his life and and where he's at, and he can still be a real sweetheart and treat you right. But there is still that line, you know. That's all I'm saying. There's still that line where it's
that
like,
doesn't mean they're not. It's not because they're not rich. They're not taking me out. That they're not treating me, you know, like a queen.
Hmm.
But some of those guys that were wealthy,
they were still not.
it's not
no.
because they were Hey, I've met guys that were wealthy that were adorable. I'm not saying that, but it's not because they had those things
For sure.
that they were good guys and that I was happy because I wasn't.
Well, I remember having this gentleman that uses the word, and he used to drive this car.
Hmm.
And it was winter. It was one of the coldest winters in Montreal.
Yeah.
Right.
And this car, the heating wouldn't work sometimes, and the wiper wouldn't work. And when you get out of the car to push that car
Oh!
on Costa Street
Oh, okay,
with
that's a different story.
groceries, it minus 25 degrees weather, you're like, I will take the metro. Okay, like you need to dump
It's
your
like you're
partner.
sweet and all,
that's
but
what I mean. Those are extreme cases. I'm not talking
I
about
didn't dump
extreme.
him for that.
I'm sure he was great, and I'm sure he
No.
was sweet, and it doesn't.
No, he
it doesn't.
wasn't.
No, he wasn't. Okay, well that's
No,
a
but those
shame.
are extreme cases.
No, that's
I'm
a
just
shame.
talking about average versus like, ballin'. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And it's not because the guy's ballin'. Trust me, that makes him all of that.
But there's a difference between balling and having a car. You know what I mean?
But
You
I
have a
But what
car.
I'm saying
Or
is-
not.
But when I meet a man, what
I
I'm
just want to
saying,
get
but
from
wait a
point A
minute.
to B.
What I'm saying is when I meet a man, that's not in my top 5 questions. Do you have a car? And that will be the determining factor whether I'm going to date you or not.
For sure.
I know.
No,
But
not
I
for
live in
me.
Montreal.
But it's a nice
like,
bonus.
it's easy.
Like, if I had like
Just-
2 prospects and they were like both on the same level and one of them had a car, I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
I am not going to lie.
While we're not lying, let's curve back to the subject, which was I have a question to ask you guys.
Yeah.
Do you ladies think that we are over-sexualized as a society?
Yeah.
Yes.
We are over-sexualized and then under-sexualized. I don't even know
yes.
if the word
I
No,
sexualized.
think
we're
we're-
over-sexualized and under-sex knowledgeable.
Yeah, we're like okay. So
And I
that's
think people are sex deprived, period.
yeah,
Okay? And that's what I think.
yeah,
I think that we're oversaturated as far as like media goes.
Yeah.
But there's not enough knowledge on sex itself. And I don't think people feel comfortable with sexuality.
yeah.
But of course, people are not going to feel comfortable with sex because they don't feel comfortable with themselves.
Mm.
So if you're in a society where people don't even know how to love themselves or to respect themselves, how the hell are they going to be comfortable with
In their
sexuality? You know?
It's definitely
And
going to
it's
be
really
imbalanced.
sad because it's basically put down our throats. No pun intended.
Yeah.
But it's sad because at the end of the day, I find a lot of people prude when it comes to sex itself.
I just got
A
it.
lot of
but-
people talk a lot of, a lot of
It's like
shit.
a big game.
Yeah, big game. But then when it comes down to it, I see a lot of prude people.
But the thing is, I mean, I'm not sure what the hell prude means. It doesn't mean you're a little shy and you don't want to, let your shit hang out. If that's what it means, then I guess I'm a prude. And I
No,
don't
I
think
mean
that I don't think there's
I mean
necessarily
comfortable with sexuality.
I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with being like a prude, but I think say with the whole twerking movement. Okay, so there's that bonus. People are getting in touch with their hips. Lady Andy, we were talking about it. You were saying people need that.
We did the yoga, twerking yoga.
Yeah, exactly. It's
That
like
was amazing.
right. It's like you know what? People are getting in touch with their hips.
But wait, is that a positive way to promote
But
sexuality?
I think that's what she's getting.
Like-
Okay.
So on one hand, it's like, okay, people are getting in touch with their hips. Cool. We've been stiff for way too long. Bring it to America. Let's make it work. People have been twerking for years. But anyways,
Yeah.
it was this whole thing. But at the same time, I'm seeing videos of like 7-year-olds who love to dance, but they have no idea what they're doing.
Mhm.
And they go to choreographers who show them these choreographies that the Pussycat Dolls would do. And I feel uncomfortable with that because before they even understand what's happening, they're thrown into this world that's hypersexualized.
Right.
They're sexual beings, but they haven't found their balance yet. So they don't know what the hell's going on.
So they're already sex objects.
Exactly.
Well, I think I can be a prude.
Mhm.
But I was changing a diaper. I
Mhm.
was changing my a baby's diaper. It was a little girl. And while I was changing her diaper, she kept grabbing her little pum pum and she was like yanking it open, you
Oh
know?
my, yeah.
And she's a baby. She's like a year and we're 17 months.
Yeah.
You know, so she doesn't know what she's doing. And my initial reaction was I felt to take her hand away, but I stopped because I know that that's what happened with me. And I know that created a strange block, not just that, but a number of other things that followed from there that stem from that kind of, that
You're like
it's
shamed.
wrong.
Yeah.
You're shamed for your sexuality.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of people are like that.
Mhm.
Like there's a movie also, the guy from Third Rock from the Sun, I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
The kid, he did a movie and about a young man who's like in his, his prime, the lifting of the weights, and he always has a bad bitch by his side, and
Yeah.
he's a sexaholic essentially, porno, the whole shebang. And then it gets used against him because he doesn't really have any connection with himself.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know why he's doing it, because it's just like bam, 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 bang, and he's like replicating all these moves and kissing himself in the mirror. but he's not connected with the act itself.
Yeah.
So I do believe that that's the atmosphere that we're living in right now, which is
Just do it. Just
do
go.
it, and you need to be sexual. So there's people who will tell you how sexual they are, and they'll go on and on, which we all are to an extent. But sometimes you find out that they're not real. They don't really connect.
Yeah.
They don't really know. It's like a competition. Like me amongst my girlfriends when I was in my early 20s, it was almost like the competition to say who was the most sexual in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And now looking back, I'm like, you were talking some smack back then. You know,
Would you say that now?
Right now, I say the truth, which is, you know, what my truth is.
Mm-hmm.
But
No,
I
what I'm
remember.
saying, do you feel like that now with your circle of friends, whoever talks? Because I don't know. Personally, I think I own my shit.
I think that my friends now are grown-ups.
That's it. Like,
They're
I
adults.
don't know. Like, I don't know.
We're not the same situation that we were in when we were in our 20s.
I don't know. I feel comfortable with my sexuality.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about it to a certain degree.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll own that.
There's nothing wrong with owning it. But I'm talking about a bunch of 20-something-year-olds
Yeah.
who weren't.
Okay.
Who weren't owning it.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually blew up. Like, this is this really weird story, but I was seeing a guy. And I thought that I was like, you know, hey, 5 in the air. I'm throwing it around like I just don't care. You know? And we were kicking it. And it came out in a conversation where my friend, she just asked, like, well, who's the most banging blah, blah, blah that you've been with? And he was like, well, this Haitian chick. And I was sitting there like, not Haitian. You know,
Ouch.
and for me, yeah, but you see, it was a sting,
Yeah.
and it didn't have to be because the truth was,
It's true.
I wasn't quite there yet. I was sexual, but I thought I was, but I really, really wasn't, and now I know
Mm-hmm.
that I wasn't then.
Yeah.
I was just trying to live up to this expectation.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, there's
That's
something
a good
like.
But wait. But that's a good point that I want to touch on. That's the problem, is that we're in a society here where the kids get exposed to this over-sexualization.
Yeah, there's too much.
Without the sexual maturity,
Mm-hmm.
without the explanation,
Yes.
without the foundations,
Yeah.
without even, an openness at home.
Yeah.
All of these things. And then they go do things, okay, like twerking or grinding on at a school dance at 9 years old.
Yeah.
They're looking at the videos. We're over-sexualized, but the problem is that these kids have access to this.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say kids, that means children, teenagers, and young adults, because I'm sorry. I think back also when I was younger, and I used to hear my girlfriends talk and myself, and I'm sorry, we didn't know shit of nothing about sex. All we were concerned about is if I'm in this position, do I look good?
Yeah.
Am I pleasing the guy? We knew nothing about being in the moment sexually, which comes with sexual maturity.
Being in the moment with your body,
With your
yourself,
body, knowing what pleases you,
Yeah.
and being comfortable with your sexuality and owning it. And that's all part of sexual maturity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Now-
remember in my early 20s,
Yeah.
I was dating this guy, and he was like, obviously all his sex education was done through porn.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I mean,
as it is for
For
a lot
most
of boys.
guys, yeah.
but I was in my early 20s too, and I was like, discovering my own boundaries and,
Yeah, of course.
trying to mature. And I was like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, no, I don't think that's what I want to do right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
think that's
And
what normal people do.
But you see, you have a voice to say that.
Right.
Unfortunately, a lot of girls will not say, no, I don't want to do that. They will do it. This is why you see, I was appalled, but I've seen teenagers in school with bracelets, okay,
Mhm.
wearing different color bracelets depending on what sexual act they've done. Meaning if they've given a boy a blowjob, they're wearing whatever color bracelet.
Yeah, I remember seeing those bracelets. Girls wore them, but I didn't even know if they did it for real or if it was just they were just talking shit.
This is a true thing. But when you give these kids access to seeing that celebrities have done porn tapes.
Yeah.
Or that, you know...
that they've become celebrities
because
of sex tapes,
right?
yeah.
Or, you know, sexting.
And then they went to break the internet.
Or sexting, which I'd like to touch on really quickly.
Yeah.
You know, sexting is not only text message, but it's actually sending pictures and videos.
Yeah.
So when you're
Videos?
doing, yes, of yourself masturbating or showing your whatever you're
Yeah.
doing.
Jesus Christ, where am I?
Well, this was my next question to you guys.
Yeah.
What is sexting to you guys?
Sexting.
Yeah, what's sexting to you?
A few naughty words exchanged by text message.
So naughty words as in I want you right now? Or
Nah.
are you just breaking down a sexual act?
It's a mix of both. It depends on how far I want to take it. But yeah,
This is what I wanna
describing
do.
this is what I want to do to you. This is how, and this is when. This is.
It's like sexual stimulation through words. That's
Yeah.
why people that can't spell or that have no imagination, you need to stay home.
Right. Read a book. Do something.
Whatever you do, don't copy paste some lyric from a rap song.
Oh God.
Skeet,
God,
skeet.
who does that?
Skate.
Skate.
I have it here. To
You know
the
what?
sweat drop down my balls. To these bitches, to all these
That's not
bitches,
sexting
bro.
though. That's not
not
sexting
sexting.
though.
But I've received it.
Delete the number.
No, but I didn't know what ski was because I was listening to the song in clubs. You know, I don't pay attention to the lyrics. So I
Yeah,
was
but
like,
any guy that would copy
Skate.
paste a rap song
What's
and send
skate?
it
He's
as
gotta go.
gotta go.
He's gotta go.
what is skeeting anyway?
What's
Like some people, there's
That's a clear reflection of what you're getting in bed. Nothing.
I want to give a testimony. Skeet, I got
Speaking of that, we can go back, like, say in rap music, there was this whole debate about
Yes.
rappers degrading women in rap songs.
Right.
And we were talking earlier about the taboo between art imitating life, or is it life imitating art?
No, I brought up, it's very controversial
Yeah.
because this is without getting into the whole, using of the word hoe and bitch and other words that I'm not going to mention that I personally think they shouldn't be used.
Yeah.
But this is what I was saying earlier. The beginnings of hip hop, a personal expression. It was an expression,
Yeah.
But when it started, it was in an era where the expression was very political. It had a very good message, and it was the expression of what a culture was going through.
The struggle.
The struggle. So you had people like, groups like Public Enemy, there was many.
NWA.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Many, which was, in my personal opinion, an extremely amazing era for hip hop. But this is where it becomes a little controversial because that was an expression of what was going on.
Yeah.
Rappers are saying the same thing now. Well, we're just rapping about what's happening now.
Yeah.
Right.
So that applied then, and it was a positive message, but it's what was going on then.
Yeah.
Now we're in another era. They're expressing their reality now, which for them is a different reality. So is that a good thing? Or because we're in a time where their reality is going to strip clubs and throwing money and cars and, excuse the language, bitches in brackets.
And skeeting in public, in
Well,
a club.
Okay,
That's
but-
nasty.
So now the debate is, the same applies or does it not?
Well, it's art, no matter what you're
But
doing.
is it art or not?
Well, it is
That art.
It's art is simply an expression. It's
Yeah.
like it's a reflection from wherever it's coming from, whether it's from inside your head or you're looking outside, you're just expressing yourself. They're expressing themselves, whether I agree with it or not, but it is happening. I've had to, what really got me into the line of work that I'm doing was one time coming out of a club and seeing two young girls, and they probably were 16, going to the club with fake IDs. And this older black gentleman, I hate to call him out, but he was black.
Mm-hmm.
And the two girls were two young white girls.
Mm-hmm.
And they were going into the alley, and I heard him yell out to these young, you just know.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, who's gonna come suck my dick first? Literally.
Oh
He
my
yelled
God.
this. I was about to hop in a cab. And they're like, girl, should we go? And the other one's like, yeah, let's go. In an alley. It was
Oh my
disgusting.
God.
It was dark at night. Yo, if you want to get down in an alley, knock yourself out. But I just knew that they didn't know what they were talking about.
Yeah.
And they were about to go do something that they would really, really not regret maybe the next day, because they're going to talk about it and like lie to themselves, but that it would really hurt them in a few years. You know, and that's what they're picking up from. They're picking up, that's what is going on.
Yeah.
It is going
true,
on.
But that's the thing. And so rappers will say the same thing they used to say back in the day, and it was really true then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? They're still saying it now. We're just rapping about reality. So this is where it becomes controversial.
Mm-hmm.
Is it right? Is it wrong? You know,
Yeah.
it's an expression of reality, their reality. So is it wrong? Is it right? This is where it becomes...
It's kind of muddled.
Yeah.
But it's also, we're clarifying, we're talking about mainstream rap, right?
Right,
Because
yeah.
there's also like
There's all
conscious
sorts
rap
of
and
rap.
everything.
Absolutely
But when we
conscious
talk
rap.
about mainstream itself has a very specific agenda.
Right,
And
yes.
even with marketing and
Yeah.
getting women, keeping women in a certain position, keeping men in a certain position, that all comes into play. So it's kind of...
And I find it's hypocritical too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of women will criticize it
Yeah.
and say, oh, well, they're saying hoes and talking about ass and girls dropping it and, you know, this and that. But I see girls bobbing their heads to this music and I'm like, no, but wait a minute. And I'll be like, well, excuse me, weren't you saying XYZ? They're like, yeah, but the beat's good.
But that,
Yeah.
but you see, the thing
So
is...
to me, that's hypocritical. How are you
Yeah.
going to be like woman power and then turn around and look at your playlist and you got just ratchet shit on there?
But
Like,
yeah,
you know
absolutely.
what I'm saying? So
But that's the thing. So we were saying, like, when I was younger and I was listening to the songs, I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know, half the time I didn't know what they were saying, really. You know, even, I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Now I'm like, damn, okay, I kind of understand. Like, they were
Yeah.
basically just talking about the society we're in, and we're saying it's changed, but it's pretty much, it's not that long ago, but they were still talking about the same thing, just in a different way. But it's the same stuff. But now I feel like I'm able to separate from the message.
Yeah.
Like, it's not affecting me personally in my life. When I say, like, we were talking about, bitch, better have my money. When we're talking about, say, Rihanna's song, I'm listening to it, and whenever I'm in that mood to listen to that track, I'll listen to it, and that's it. But it's not, I'm not young to the point where I feel like it's, like, going in my head and...
you're
and,
not, though.
Exactly,
But how
that's what
about
I mean.
how about the 9-year-old that's listening to Bitch Better Have My Money?
That's the
But
thing, that's
how
what's
that-
Why
heartbreaking.
is the 9-year-old listening to Bitch Better Have Your Money?
Because they're
Tell me.
exposed to it.
Because
And
you
that's
have
what
to-
mainstream does.
What are you gonna do? Tell all the rappers not to do? Like, to me, it's like, personally, I have no right or wrong about it. They're
Yeah.
doing what they're doing.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
their truth.
Yeah.
They're getting them. I know there's an engine behind it.
Yeah.
But it's their truth. It's not my truth.
Mhm.
I'm not I'm not gonna be like, if I don't want to hear it, I won't listen. There are times when I'm like, I can't listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
This is really too much. It actually upsets me, frankly, to listen to a lot of hip hop music. Not
Yeah.
even listening to the words. It's just like, you feel the energies, like,
Yeah.
this is aggressive and it's not what I want.
No, there's a lot of garbage out there right
Definitely.
now.
Yeah.
Personally, you know, I'm fortunate. I feel very fortunate to come from an era where hip hop was amazing. And now it's 50-50. There's some amazing artists out there.
Yeah.
But
Thank
there's some
God.
garbage out there that I do not understand how it's even out there.
It's being financed. People
Yeah.
are putting
You know,
millions into that stuff, so it comes
people
into
have
the
been-
agenda.
and speaking
Sex sells. honey.
sex sells,
Yeah.
it's also become very blunt
Mm-hmm.
in the sense that, you know, we've always used sex to sell.
Yeah.
Okay? Always.
But-
Back in the 50s, back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. But now it's in your face. You listen to the lyrics.
They're cheap.
You know, like
Yeah.
I'm listening to Nicki Minaj talking about eating her asshole.
Yeah.
Like my ass, my anus.
Is
know,
a finally famous. I'm like, damn, girl.
Because it's famous now. You
Uh,
know, this is when the
and-
ding goes off, and yes,
It
ding
was-
supper is served.
At least before it was,
Now
there
how
was
I
some
would
wittiness.
say.
Yeah. Metaphors.
Okay, but I think
Right.
you see. Okay, so I'm gonna link that up to the marketing.
Yes.
You know, so I think that using sex to sell is fine, but don't just don't jag it up my throat and be like, this is what it is. You know what I mean?
But there's a market for it. Obviously, even you guys, when Bitch Better Have My Money came out, there's no one in this room that liked the song when it first came out. A week later, y'all were all
But the first time, and that was the thing. The first time I heard
it got to you.
Hold on. The first time I heard it, I was like, I hate it, and I know I'm gonna love it tomorrow.
You said it.
Damn it!
You said it. And you know what? You saying it
I knew
gave me the freedom to just cut through the crap.
And be like, that's
And I was
it.
like, you know what? I kind of like it's trapping me. It's trap music. It got me. It's trap music. Exactly.
But that's the thing. It's a trap, and that's the thing. Okay, so as an artist, as a singer, I really want to be. I want to inspire people to be themselves, to love themselves, to push their boundaries, to explore, to be awesome, basically.
Right.
But in doing so, I feel like I was kind of pigeonholing myself and say a song like Rihanna's, like Bitch Better Have My Money, about maybe 2 years ago, I'd have been like, no, this is not okay. This is horrible. Kids are listening to this, and it's horrible. But now, I feel freer as an artist because I've accepted also that side of me. Yeah. That side, damn, I just want to bob my head to that beat.
Could I ask you guys something?
Yeah.
Is the expression of being trashy actually being comfortable with your sexuality, or is it actually you're expressing your insecurities?
That is, I love that. That's actually.
I'd like your opinion on that.
Yeah, well, but that in itself is also subjective because some people will consider something trashy.
Yeah.
Like some people might consider, like, let's say they go on your wall, which I don't think is trashy at all. I think it really inspires me. But some women who have you can't and you're not supposed to will say, well, they can call you sharmuta, a woman who's too free or too liberated.
Okay, so
and they could consider it trashy.
Okay,
so it's subjective.
Wait a minute, is naughty and trashy the same thing?
Yeah, but
it depends for everyone.
Where are your boundaries? That's where your boundaries are.
Yes. Okay, for somebody else, it might be too much.
Yeah, some people are like, this is who they are.
But this is my question.
Yeah, repeat it. I didn't get it.
What is too much? Because when songs like Anaconda came out, by Nicki Minaj, you see, you're all having this reaction.
But that's me, but it's mine.
Okay, but wait a minute. Subjective. Do you think that is sexual naughty, or do you think that's trashy?
I'm not gonna lie. I think until this day, I wish I had not seen Anaconda. It still is not.
The state in which I watched Anaconda for the first time was not good. It was not good.
I was with you.
I know you were. We were not. We were traumatized. I was not well after that. I knew I had just watched something that messed me up inside somehow, and I can't even imagine a kid watching that. And like, it's true.
Everything was unnecessary.
Everything is so in your face. Now it's like, why is your ass in my face in the thong? There's
no. Could I say something?
Right.
For me, a good lyricist, rapper, is someone that could utilize metaphor very well.
Yeah.
A good lyricist.
Yes.
He's tight with his rhymes. He knows how to use metaphors to say what he's trying to say. That's a good lyricist. I come from that era. When I hear a good singer as well, they're conveying, they could be talking about intercourse, the most rawest of acts, okay, sexually. But it's conveyed in a manner because they're skilled with their lyrics.
Right.
Okay? You mentioned my wall.
Yeah.
Actually, yes, I'm very open sexually. I actually still censor myself. But I also use a lot of metaphor. Sexual metaphor on my wall. Okay?
Yeah.
I like wordplay.
Right.
Okay? That's how music used to be. Now, it's just in your face, lick my asshole.
Yeah.
Do this. So to me,
and
then when I see the results in society, where everyone's actually being proved, I'm like, are you doing that because you feel insecure and you need attention?
Yeah.
And that's what you're reflecting, because when I see these girls getting fingered on dance floors in clubs, you are not doing that because you're a sexual person. You are doing that, you're 17 because they're underage, most of them.
Right.
You're doing it because you need attention, you're insecure.
Right. You want to show.
Yes.
You're trying to show that you're comfortable in your sexuality.
Exactly.
Which you're not. You can attract more people because you just want attention, energy.
Because if you are comfortable in your sexuality,
yeah,
you don't need to do all of that. And if it is life or art imitating life, then that's exactly what I'm saying. You're reflecting an insecure society.
Mm-hmm.
And what I see, I live in an insecure society. So, of course, when people come on my wall, I've had a lot of people inbox me and going, wow, your stuff is naughty, your stuff is this, but it's refreshing.
Right.
I cannot count how many messages I got like that.
Yeah.
So really, people are like, okay, that's nice. They wouldn't say it publicly. Why not? So that you know when someone's comfortable and confident with their sexuality. But I think with art imitating life, because that's what I think is happening, for me personally, that's my opinion on it.
Yeah.
Yes, they're reflecting an insecure society. And it's really sad because at the end of the day, people are not enjoying what really sex should be enjoyed. It's actually something very enjoyable. It's beautiful. It's nice. And it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like sex?
Yeah.
But the way...
real sex.
Real sex.
With
But
the
that's my
connection.
point.
You're connecting your body. You have to be...
You have to be connected with yourself. But first and foremost. So if you cannot do that, okay, the stuff that I'm seeing reflected is unfortunately a reflection of where this society is at. It's over-sexualized for the wrong reasons.
It's too much of everything.
But for us to know
In the wrong
that
way.
there's a problem,
In the wrong way.
sometimes it just has to become obvious.
Yeah.
Because no
But
matter...
sweetie, it's become obvious for years. There's no resolution with this
I mean,
now.
I highly doubt that we're all going to explode in like an explosion of orgies and we're all going to die because we all start having too much sex. Like,
But do you know that even statistically speaking, there's more rape in North America than there is in countries where like sex is more, there's more liberation? with sex?
Well, that's generally
Oppression.
the case because oppression will always
Oppression.
create a taboo.
Yes,
Yeah.
oppression creates all sorts of things. But me personally, for having experienced it, is really like the whole thing with like porn. I have nothing against porn. Okay, I think that like, you know what, you want to go watch it, turns you on, do your thing. Okay, but connect to the reality. You know,
Yes.
find what you
Connect
like.
with yourself.
Yes, connect with yourself. Connect with what's true to you. And you know,
And own it.
own it. And I think the hardest part is to find a partner that's also connected to himself or herself, or trying to do that, you know, or trying to be themselves. And in your early 20s, you know, it's, I don't know, talking from like my experience, it's really, like you said, Lady Andy, you know, it's just like a bunch of girls getting together saying how, you know, we took it and we wrote it and we're like all this and all that.
And I was in this position and we had this bra on
You know,
and he
right,
said,
and I came 0 times, you know,
Yeah.
right.
Right?
You know?
Yeah, so I think that's what it is. Yeah, we are obviously like an over-sexualized society, but we need to get back into our skin.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
But there's never been more messages. See, at the other side of it, it is true that it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for me a lot of the time. So it's creating a discomfort. That's why I'm having this conversation with you, right? But at the same time, I've never seen as many messages globally going out asking people to connect with themselves, because connecting with yourself doesn't have to start with sex and end with sex. Connecting with yourself is even being aware that you have a body. So most people don't even know what it's like to feel their body.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so there is an influx of that also going out. So that's why for me, I'm like, I don't like it. I don't really want, my little cousins, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to catch you watching it. I know they're going to watch it anyway. But they can come and talk to me. They can come and have a conversation
You have
with
to
me.
give the platform.
Yeah, they can talk to me. I won't judge them. I won't, you know, like show them that, no, I will judge their behinds. I really will. But I won't show them to their faces and make them feel uncomfortable by the urges that they're having. I'd rather have the conversation. And so it's happening now.
Yeah.
You know, because before, like you were saying, Sib, I remember listening to some lyrics and I was like, that's really clever way to put it. And then they're being raw, but they're not saying, I opened your vagina. I used like a machine that the gynecologists do, open it wide, spat in it, and threw my whole head inside.
Oy.
You know?
Oh my God.
But that's literally, hey girl,
That's true.
they're getting there.
It's true.
They're getting there.
It's true.
They're there
You know?
already.
But there was a time where even the little expression that you would have, or what I would have, or even this conversation that we're having could have gotten us killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could have gotten us killed, could have gotten us thrown in prison, could have gotten us burnt at the stake. It could, there's been
Other parts in the world that's happening still. Like, people can't express that at all.
Yeah, and then there's the other flip side where people are way more advanced than we are here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, this conversation is, like, PG.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So, with that being said, we'd also love to hear from you guys.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on it? Are we over-sexualized as a society?
What are you comfortable with?
Yeah.
Let
Not
us know.
comfortable. Yeah, where do you stand?
Yeah.
Where do you stand in that point of view?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, like, even thinking about, let's be honest, summer's coming.
Mm-hmm.
We know we're going to be seeing some
Booty.
everywhere. And
You're
I
starting
remember,
to see some male chests out there, too.
yeah, I like it. And I remember going to HMV when people still went to HMV.
Yeah, I'm like, what is that?
So I was looking
That's
at
a
CDs.
record store, guys.
Buy actual CDs.
I was purchasing CDs with my brother,
Oh god.
and this girl walked in, and she had like these really short shorts, like really short, like the bottom of her butt was showing.
Yeah.
I see that
And
every
the thing,
summer in Montreal.
everybody was just like, "Oh my god, can you see what she's wearing?" It wasn't too long ago.
No,
too.
you see that everywhere in Montreal this
But
summer.
now it's everywhere.
But that's
Like,
the thing.
whatever.
Before
Yeah.
it was a thing, but now it's just like everybody has that, and you're like, but your butt though.
Yeah, it's like what when Christina came out. Christina Aguilera came out with "Dirty."
Yeah.
Remember? I was like, whoa, holy mother! Oh my god! Like that is extreme.
Yeah,
and then Anaconda, and you're
Which
like,
I find funny that people were tripping about Christina Aguilera when we had like Little Kim before.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but whatever.
But she was the
Okay.
like, what a girl wants, what a girl
Right.
needs.
I
Look
remember-
at him out, she's like,
I'm a bad
work,
bitch.
work,
I'm a bad
work.
bitch.
From the beginning.
That
So
was
outraged about what?
her first song on her first album.
By
was
the way, people,
Big
before there
Mama
was
Thang.
Nicki Minaj,
You
there
know,
was Little Kim.
first
Yeah.
Yeah.
single that I remember from Little Kim. I was 14 years old. I was listening to this thing in my room, but that came in and kicked my behind like I never had. But
Oh my god.
I kept listening because I was like, oh my gosh. She said, you got it going on. Dun, 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 dun. And that, it was, and I knew what she was saying. I was listening to Snoop Dogg back then, and I didn't understand a word he was saying, but I knew what Lil Kim was saying, and I didn't grow up to become, a sociopathic hoe running around.
Take that, hoochie mama.
Yeah,
So please,
yeah, let
give us
know,
your
y'all.
feedback. Let us know. Are we over-sexualized as a society? Do you have any comments to give us? Do you have any topics you'd like for us to
Talk
discuss?
to us.
Are you
Let's
mad
talk
about it? Are you happy about it?
Let's talk about sex.
Mhm.
Let's talk about it. Talk about it.
Seriously, thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. This was episode, I don't know number what, of Let's Talk About It.
We've
Tune
been
in
talking.
next week for the next episode.
You get the picture.
Peace.
Uh-huh.